right here, WPJS, 1330 AM on your dial. I'm your co-host, Ed McQueen, with gratitude on behalf of the host. She's ready. You can see over there. You can see over there, right? You got you on video now. You can't hide.
He's still trying to hide behind the microphone.
You can't hide.
You know what? Brother, you a mess.
That good. That's sometimes that's good.
It is. I look forward to this day every single week. I really do.
I do too. It's gonna get better.
Of course.
It's gonna get better. Make no mistake about that.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you're listening to a little bit more community magazine, Hour of Power, right here on WPGS 1330 AM on your dial. Let's start with Allentown, okay?
And Ainer.
And then Bayburg,
Burgess.
Marion,
Gresham.
Lawrence,
Friendship.
Green Sea.
Britton Smith.
You can't stop today.
We can't.
Long, South Carolina.
Finkley.
Chesterfield.
Norris. Whiteville.
Han Community.
Tabor City.
Highway 378.
Ketchup Town.
Conway.
Yeah.
What's Ketchup Town?
Hey, Ashley Smith said Ketchup Town. I don't really know what a community is. I've heard of it before, but I can't really say I know where it's located. We got to figure that out.
All right, Councilman Ashton.
Hey,
Councilman
call
Smith.
us and let us know where.
Let us know.
Where
Give us a
Ketchup
call.
Town located.
Where's Ketchup Town? But anyway, we want to continue with our
roll call.
Yeah, roll call. Even in Georgetown. Merle's Inlet.
Yeah, Pawleys Island.
Yes, indeed.
Plantersville.
Right.
Yeah. Bucksport.
Oh, yeah.
Bucksville, Toddsville.
Yeah. Did we say Marion?
Yeah,
Did we
you
say
said
Marion?
Marion.
Mm-hmm. Say Gresham?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we said all that.
Say all that?
With Myrtle Beach, North Myrtle Beach. You like to say South Myrtle Beach.
South Myrtle Beach.
Poplar, Little River.
Big River.
Yeah.
What's that Hands community?
Yeah.
You got any feet?
Huh?
You know,
Hands
he got
community.
jokes today.
No, that.
You said Hands community. You got any feet?
Jokes.
Minister Parrish.
Mm-hmm.
Minister P.J. Parrish.
Keep your day job, PJ.
Yeah, please. It's summer job program time, okay? That's what it is. So we want to talk seriously about that. And
We forgot about the capital. Conway, excuse me.
Capital of Conway.
Yes.
Let's give the call. Okay, give a caller the opportunity to call and tell us who the capital is.
Okay, if you know what the capital of Conway is, according to the Whittemore Community Magazine, Hour
The
Power,
right.
give us a call at 843-248-2890.
Or 843-248-6365.
That's right.
Okay.
Give us a call if you know what the capital of
Say
Conway
it again, 843-248-6365 or 843-248-2890. If you know, we'll hold off on saying it just for a few minutes. But you're gonna call and give us a call and let us know what the capital of Conway is. Our worldwide audience who's viewing this, people look at
They're
it.
probably scratching their heads right now like, wait.
Yeah. But forgive us if we say anything.
I'm glad you said we're worldwide, because yes, we are indeed global.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
You're in New Global. So, we're expecting a guest today. And what are we going to talk about? Guest on? Oh, somebody's calling in about the.
You'll see.
Somebody's going to call in about the capital of Conway.
Yeah, I hope that's the answer.
Wait a minute, hold on.
Uh-oh.
PJ cleared the throat.
Okay.
PJ looking kind of sharp today too.
Yeah,
brother's looking.
We got a call.
today.
Call you on the air.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. All day, every day, right? There you go. She's laughing. That's a caller after my own heart. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill. Caller, you want to state your name?
No. She don't want to do that.
But thank you. You know the deal. She's a really smart woman, too.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
she's beautiful. She's a really smart woman. Thank you for calling.
All right. We'll keep up the capital now, okay? We got to make the capital still looking good, okay? We're going to have a, speaking of good neighborhoods, we're going to start a campaign in the near future, okay? And WPGS is going to be in on it with everybody. what the campaign is going to be about a curb appeal for neighborhoods, okay? And we gonna want people to want to move into our neighborhood, all right? We don't want to move out. We're gonna want them to move into our neighborhood.
I like that campaign.
Yeah.
Sounds good already.
Right. And they pass by there and go to, drive through it and want to say, man, that's the neighborhood I want to be in. So we're going to start a campaign to start recognizing some household residents who are taking the initiative to enhance or improve their curb appeal and see who looks the best. We got to start giving away some prizes and some money and stuff like that. Okay? We got to start doing.
We recognize them in the magazine every month.
Every month.
Yard of the month.
That's right.
You know.
That's right.
That kind of thing.
I tell you.
I like that.
We need to get to the point where people who come from out of town say, "This is a neighborhood I want to move in."
Yeah.
Okay. Can look just like.
You came up with the idea by yourself. I'm just asking.
I did.
That sounds like a Sister Joella
I
idea.
know.
PJ.
She'll take blame. She'll
gonna take the credit for it?
She'll take credit for it. No.
Sounds like a brilliant idea to me.
I'll give her
You
credit.
came up with that.
I'll give her credit
PJ, like
because
you don't
this is
know
going on
him.
video.
Okay? And all the evidence. PJ, like we don't know him. Okay?
All right. Okay.
But that's a solid idea. I like it.
Yeah. I think it's we should be in the business of being innovative. Okay, in Conway, I know people look at little old Conway compared to Myrtle Beach, they probably say, but we can do it right here. You're listening to the Whittemore Community Magazine Hour of Power right here on WPGS 1330 AM on your dial. I'm your co-host Ed McQueen, and again, it's summer jobs program time. It's summer jobs program time. Whittemore Community Magazine summer jobs program. And we need somebody to kick it off with some money. Who kicked it off last? Who kicked it off the first time last time?
Right over at you, PJ.
He didn't even.
He didn't even give you a buffer. He didn't give you a moment to even take it in.
Is he writing the check?
He didn't even have no confusion
He
with
had to
that.
do a
did he?
receipt. You didn't have a check.
Yeah, that's what I just gave
He gave you a receipt.
I just gave you a piece of paper. That's what
Okay.
that.
All right. Yes, PJ did kick it off.
Yeah. I gotta give him credit. Now I'm gonna stop talking bad about my brother.
I tell you what.
Really, I'm gonna stop talking bad about my brother.
I tell you what.
He don't care what nobody say, PJ.
Yeah.
That's right.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna stop talking bad about you. All right.
I tell you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead. I kick it off with $100.
Huh. See, you laughing and joking and teasing. This man is about his business.
Been getting too specific of this thing. 2 weeks of supplying a job for one youth is like $240. That's because they're working 20 hours a week.
So they're just getting a stipend. That's not a wage because that's not a legal wage.
It's not a wage. No,
It's just a stipend.
Okay. In fact, if they're younger, and we need to get that word out there because we don't.
It's like an internship.
Right, they'll be working. That's the most important thing about this is that they'll be working. They'll get just the fact that they're going to be being paid by a paycheck. With a paycheck, and every week for 5 weeks. I wish we could go for 6 weeks. I really do. But it was successful last year, and I'm really thanking God for that. Really, I mean, He gets all the credit. Okay, and I don't mind to I'll divulge the amount that we collected last year. It was $23,830.
Wow.
We hired 53 youth. Okay.
That's phenomenal. It really is. Community support.
Right.
Yes, sir.
53.
People who believe in that program.
We didn't have any big corporation money. I mean, these were just all nickel down from just people from average Joe six-pack. So we're proud of that, and we're going to give a good synopsis of it in the next issue of the magazine. In fact, the hostess is going to let you know how important it is from her perspective.
Oh my goodness. We can talk about that today. We're going to talk about that for a few minutes before our special guest comes in. That's for sure.
When she comes in.
Because I was just dealing with that today. Actually, for the past 2 weeks over at Horry Georgetown Tech.
Right. And tell us about that.
That's my full-time job.
Yeah.
That's my bread and butter. This is for fun.
What you have your fun? I just about
This
to
is
say.
for fun.
I was just about to say you have your fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have my fun here. I look
Okay.
forward to this every single week. This gets me over the hump because it is hump day. You know, Wednesday's hump day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, but you know, good segue into what we have going on right now at Horry Georgetown Tech. This is career fair season, so every
Right.
spring we host career fairs for our students, and normally we will do one career fair that's pretty comprehensive. It's jobs and careers, internships, college transfers, and even graduation exit interviews and things of that nature. But we've broken it down to just career fairs. And so we transformed it into divisional career fairs, whereas we actually have 6 different events. So they're broken down by category. Last week was our culinary and hospitality career fair over at the ICI, which is the International Culinary Institute of Myrtle Beach. It's the brand new $15 million facility on the Grand Strand campus that is a phenomenal building. If you want to see it, the public is invited to come out and just take a look at just the swankiness and the edginess and the modern the lines of that building. And they also have lunch and dinner service. I don't know if you knew that, but we need to get. Yeah, they have lunch and dinner service, cuisines from all over the world. So yeah, we should do dinner or something there one night. But anyway, at the Culinary Institute, there were 40 employers. Okay, these were all restaurants, hotels that have food and beverage facilities. They were looking for everything from servers to sous chefs, just everything in between. And so they came out there, and students were meeting with them to talk about the full-time job possibilities, the internship possibilities, and it was a great day. Today was our business and public service. So if you are in any general business category, if you were in education, which is considered public service, law enforcement, things of that nature, we had employers there. There were 45 employers, and so I had a student who came in last week, and he wanted help with his resume. That's part of what my department does as well. We get the professional document. We help them with their professional documents. And he says, well, I'm doing this because of the career fair, but also it's about time for me to graduate. So I, definitely need to be in the job search mode. And I said, you're right. Don't wait until the day after graduation to start looking for a job. Well, he came in today. He was sharp. I mean, nice slacks, nice shirt, had his resumes in hand. And, he said, Ms. Garner, I'm so ready for this career fair. And he walked around there for about 30 or 45 minutes. And I said, well, so-and-so, how'd you do? He says, oh, I have a job interview Tuesday.
Oh.
And, I said, are you excited about the possibility? He's like, yeah, I mean, it's fabulous. I can't even believe I walked in here and got a job interview just like that.
Right.
And, of course, the importance of that, the significance of that is that, if he were just doing a regular job search, applying online, submitting his resume to an employer, it would be up against hundreds of resumes that are coming in for that same position. He walked into a career fair today, made a connection, shook hands with the employers, was able to establish that connection with them, and within 45 minutes, he was offered an interview to come in on Tuesday. There were several students who had some really good luck like that today. One walking out with pretty much 2 job offers and an interview. He's like, I don't even know which way to go. The bottom line and how that applies to summer jobs is that though the students at Horry Georgetown Tech, they're there, of course, for a solid education. They're picking up the knowledge sets. They're picking up the hard skills, which are the technical skills that they're learning to do what they do, okay? Everything PJ does at his engineering board here, that's a hard skill. I don't know how to do it, but the way PJ connects with people when they come in to do business with him, the interpersonal skills, his communication skills, for example, those are soft skills, right? So students are there to pick up those hard skills and those and to hopefully learn more about their soft skills. And a lot of them are coming straight out of high school, never had a job before, ever, okay? They were just in school, that's it. Then they came to college, and even while they're in college, they decided not to work. They just wanted to concentrate on their studies. It puts them behind the 8 ball if they're not attempting to get summer jobs internship opportunities, things like that, before they actually graduate, because then you might have the knowledge, but you don't necessarily have the work experience. The summer jobs program that is pretty much produced by the Whittemore Community Magazine has pretty much cut the 8-ball out for these, for example, for those 53 students who participated last year. They can now say, I have work experience. Right?
That was their goal.
That was their goal.
That was the goal, yeah.
I have work experience. They can now begin developing resumes. I could work with all 53 of those students, and they could put together a student-based resume that contains information about, for example, the activities they do in school, the summer jobs program that they're a part of, their hobbies and interests and things like that. And employers will be highly impressed because they have a professional document that explains who they are and what they have to offer.
Right.
So it's great that the summer jobs program exposes these young people to the idea of gaining those skills through practice, experiences, and things of that nature. But it doesn't stop there. They're developing skills now that will be transferable, meaning it doesn't matter what industry they go into, they will always be able to take these skills with them, especially as they refine their soft skills. You know, this early in life, they don't really understand that, but the more they work in certain work settings and the more they work around people of different levels, they will understand why the interpersonal skills are so important and why they have to continue to work on them, why the parents have to continue to instill in them good skills such as time management, help them to understand why it's important to manage their time wisely.
Exactly.
To work in team environments and collaborate. Even if it is in athletics, for example, you are in a team environment, you've got to know your role and you've got to understand the weight that you carry. And so responsibilities, accountability, things of that nature. So that's why the summer jobs program is so important, and it's so impactful in this community.
So we like 5 years ago, I think this is our 6th year, I believe. We started off with 2 students. Okay. The next year, I think we had two more, so we had a total of like 4. I mean, that's all our little money that we could muster up at the time. So I think the 3rd year we had a total of about 12 or 14, I believe, and that's the time we encompassed Fraser Center, Fraser Center. Then the 4th year, we started a partnership with WEOC, and 5th year, WEOC again, and that's all that amounted to some 53, 54 students, or young people, put it that way, having summer jobs. I was terribly pleased to see the excitement on their faces that after they were receiving checks for the work that they had done, and that was something to see. Okay, so we're looking forward to seeing that again, and hoping that everybody can get on board. We're going to start going a little further with it. We're going to have a fundraiser this time, just to ensure that we can meet the goals of. Actually, our goal this time is 100 people. Okay. And oh yeah, by the way, the city of Conway shipped in last year. Of course, we had I think about four students there. So we're looking forward to that again. Okay. And kudos to City of Conway on that, and we certainly appreciate their input, their partnership. In fact, I was told that that could lead to some of the students, or all of them, who were hired in the summer, to have a leg up on a permanent job with the city upon their graduations from high school.
Yeah.
And
that's what it's all about.
Yeah, really, that's what it's like, and that's what we want to do. Hey, so you want to go to commercial now? Or
We
what?
can.
We go to the commercial?
Yeah.
What do you think, PJ?
When you're ready, let me know.
Let's do it. You're listening to the Whittemore Community Magazine Hour of Power, right on WPGS 1330 AM on your dial. Again, I'm your co-host, Ed McQueen, stepping in for the host over there. Yeah, y'all don't understand. I call her a host because the host always does a lot of work. Okay? She does the setting up she made it possible for our video. and we're very grateful to that. So, and a lot of our guests, she's responsible for. She knows a lot of people, which is good. It's good. So, who do we have as our special guest today?
Well, I'm sure that she is no stranger to a lot of people, but for those of you who do not, oh, by the way, Janet, this is videotaped, of course, so you can say hello to her.
Hi.
For playback later on, you can catch the video playback on wcmagazine.net, and we also posted to social media on Facebook, so make sure you are tuning in. But this is none other than Janet Keith Thompson. Look at her. Always a Keith. That's what she'll say. Always a Keith.
See the similarity there? Last week we had a Thompson on.
Yeah, we had a Thompson on. Yeah, we did.
Okay, this week we have a Thompson. Any connection there?
Of course. I'm Mrs. Coach T.
She said she's Mrs. Coach T.
Well, before you begin with your organization that you wanted to talk about, let me first congratulate Coach T on his. I probably did last week, but his retirement or upcoming official retirement.
Well, thank you.
And we kind of compare him to Coach Eddie Robinson.
That's a good comparison.
That's right.
Yeah. So just wanted to share those accolades with you, and congratulations on him again. And I didn't want to miss that,
Okay. We certainly appreciate it.
Yeah, just to say that again. So,
Yes.
host?
Yes. So, of course, as I mentioned before, Janet has started a nonprofit organization, and there are a couple of other founders that she'll mention in just a moment. But it's a great program that is helping to prepare our youth for college and career readiness, and
Right.
that is something that is definitely needed. We were talking about that just a few moments ago at the top of the show.
Right.
And so she's going to explain to us what this organization is all about and how Educate Our Youth came to be. So, Janet?
Thank you. It's the Mamie Keith and Aline Bradley Educational Foundation, also known as Educate Our Youth, is the 501c3.
Right.
It started when my son started giving scholarships to friendship number 2 in Nichols, and I thought, and also it came at a time when my grant for Educational Talent Search ended, and so I retired. But in the process of retiring, I talked with my son and the Reverend James Odell Bradley, who are the co-founders
Right.
of the foundation, and we decided to go ahead and go forward with the 501c3,
Right.
so that we can not only help the students in Nichols at friendship number 2, we can help students in Horry County and Georgetown County. And so we developed a program similar to the Educational Talent Search program. And what we offer is the ACT and SAT workshop. We offer financial aid information. In order to get into college, you got to apply for financial aid. You have to do that, what to call a FAFSA.
Right.
And it's March, and there's some students that I know that have not applied for that FAFSA yet. And you remember the old saying, the early bird catches the worm? The earlier you apply for the FAFSA, the better you off are as far as getting, funding, for college.
On time.
Yes. And the amount also comes into
Really?
play when you file early. So parents, if any of you out there that have not filed your FAFSA for your students, please contact me at our website called educateouryouth.info and leave your name and phone number, and I'll be happy to get back in touch with you. We also will do financial literacy, which is another program.
Financial what?
Literacy.
Oh.
Not just going out. I usually talk about college kids and students going to college and how they don't know how to handle their money.
Right.
Well, high school students as well, middle school students as well, can start learning how to budget, how to start a bank account, how to save.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be important as you get older, and when you learn how to save, you learn how to hold on to your money, you learn how to be more responsible in paying your bills.
Right.
You learn how to be more responsible about that credit score, because all that comes into play. And one of the things you don't want to do when you go off to college is get a bunch of credit cards.
That's like talking in the wind.
I know, but
That's an enticement.
Yeah,
it is.
Mm-hmm.
But when if they go on student loan, they're gonna leave school with a big student loan debt, and on top of that, they don't want credit card debt.
That's right.
You know, so they really need to think about just holding back from those credit cards and using mom and dad as long as mom and dad let you use it. You know what I mean? And the other thing the other program we're offering is the athletic and academics. This is a part of the program that my husband will handle, where he will be talking to parents about their football students and how they will qualify for the NCAA and the rules and regulations and all that kind of stuff. So that's one of the programs. And the final program would be, well, not the final, but we have the career exploration. If you're not sure of what you want to do after college, or if you decide that you don't want to go to college, you want to get in the workforce, then we will have a career counselor that will work with them in exploring, you know, what they might want to do.
Right,
you know, so.
right.
In the middle school, I usually start with the a career cluster where if they're good with the hands, if they're good with adding and subtraction, that kind of can tell you whether they want to go into mathematics, whether they want to go, you know, in engineering, things of that nature. So we do the career cluster for middle school. High school students would be best suited speaking with a career counselor, so they actually know if they don't want to go to college, then they'll have an idea about what they want to major in or what they want to work, the workforce they want to go to. And Young Entrepreneurs is our final program, and that program will help students that's coming out of high school but want to go into business. For instance, if you have a young lady that's in cosmetology, and she get a cosmetology license, but she don't want to go beyond that, so then we would, you know, team up with SCORE and help her figure out how to write a business plan and to, you know, find funding to get started with her own business. And because if you want to be a cosmetologist, that's just great to be a cosmetologist, but you don't just want to rent the booth. You want to own the business. Right. You know, right. So we would like to share whatever information that we have to help that student, you know, progress.
Well, we got to let them know that you got to start somewhere.
You do.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that sometime I want to expound on the summer job program to tell our students that, you know, we want actually trying to teach you entrepreneurship to own a business. Of course, you got to work for somebody first, and you got to, so that you can transfer that to the person that you're going to hire if you get your business.
Exactly.
You know, so how it's done through the whole process. So that's important, and I agree with that.
It's highly important, and I know a lot of college students who major in business, and they think that just because they have their degree or certificate or whatever they've earned, that they can just, you know, walk off the graduation stage and into a high-paying job or immediately owning a business. And, you know, what we hear from them is that, well, you know, I thought I could go and work for this corporation, X corporation, but they made me start on the ground floor. Well, yeah, you got to understand how business operates, you know, from the customer level on up before you can even go into management, you know.
Not knowing that they're offered luckily just to get on the ground floor.
Ground floor, that's
Okay.
right.
Today.
Yeah.
I go back to a cosmetologist where I spoke with several students that majored in cosmetology, and I'll ask them, so what are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Well, I don't need to do anything else. Oh, yes, you do. And I always recommend business administration. You know, go ahead and get an associate degree in business administration. That way you know how to do your accounting, keep up with your books. You know, count your own money.
That's right.
You know, it's you know what Bernie Mac said, keep the money in the family. You know, you don't let everybody count your change.
That's right.
And so this is very important. They learn to count their money, how to organize their business, you know, and learn what charters and licenses and things of that nature that they would need.
Yeah, well, that sounds like a very unique. So you've got the
501c3.
You got it already?
Yes, we were approved in July and we launched this past January, the program. So we are an entity. And we're just starting, but by the grace of God, we're going to be okay.
Yeah, with those kind of endeavors, I think it have to be okay. So I assume that you must have scheduled some fundraisers or something?
We are in the process of that. We're in the process of that. Apply for some grants, and we always accept donations. And again, you can go to educateouru.info to make a donation to the program. But yes, we're in the process of doing fundraisers, organizing fundraisers.
Give them the website again.
The website is educateouryouth.info. There you can make a donation. There you can volunteer, or you can find out what's going on every month from that website.
Every month.
If you're trying to have something every month.
Yeah, exactly. You're listening to the Whittemore Community Magazine, Our Power, right here on WPGS 1330 AM on your dial.
Yeah.
We're talking with Miss Janet Thompson.
Janet Thompson.
Okay, so I said Coach T, but
She said Mrs. Coach T.
Mrs. Coach T.
So Janet, of course, as she was explaining, she was inspired by the work that she previously did with educational talent search,
Right,
of course.
right.
And so some of the things that you experienced with that particular program and the students that you work with are the things that you're going to do with students in this endeavor as well, right?
It is.
So, tell our audience, explain some of the things that you've done in the past that especially turned into success stories. That would be great.
Well, I have several success stories.
Mm-hmm.
One is I have a student now who graduated from Morehouse College, and Jerome Smith is his name, and I'll always remember him because he was a hardworking student. But when you take the SAT, the GPA don't coincide.
Mm-hmm.
You have to do that bridge.
Like test takers.
Yeah, right. You have to do
Mhm.
that little summer enrichment program. And so Jerome had to do the summer enrichment program, and Mom didn't have the money, so I raised the money for him by getting people to donate $100 a piece.
Mhm.
And so he was able to go to that summer enrichment program at Morehouse.
Wow.
And,
Wow.
and he'll be graduating this spring
Graduated from where?
from Morehouse.
Whoa.
Yes, from Morehouse.
Look at Edward. He likes that.
We don't get these kind of success stories. They happen, but they don't get to be told.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And they just need to be out there so they encourage other people.
Yes.
Let people know that like Ms. Janet Thompson is not just being Janet Thompson at home and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
You have this program and you have success stories to back them up.
Mm-hmm.
I have students at Clemson. I have students at Coastal Carolina. I have students at USC, and I have some students that have joined the military, and came back home. And I love going places and running into my students because it makes me feel good. And they'll thank me, give me a hug, Ms. Thompson, thanks. I'm glad you were there to help me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what it's all about, helping students get. Sometimes parents are not aware. It takes a lot to do the application process, the FAFSA process. When they file their taxes for IRS, they have to toolkit drop down. They have to correlate that information, and they're not aware of all that. So that's where I stepped in when I was working in the educational talent search to make sure that I worked with the parents, and the parents was grateful, that I could be assistant to their students. And I have some parents today, and when I see them, hey girl,
Mm-hmm.
she doing all right, thank you.
Feels like one of your children,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, it feels good. It really does. So I'm hoping to continue this, in working with kids and helping them to move forward. In the climate of this country right now, children cannot afford to sit back and not do anything.
Just can't.
That's true.
They just can't.
And the work you used to do, you also would take the students on college tours,
right.
which was a way to expose them to other areas of the country that they've never been before. Some students have never left Horry County
Exactly.
or never left Georgetown County. And those summer tours through that ETS program would take them, at least in the Southeast, they would visit states that they probably
Right.
never thought they'd see. Yeah.
We went as far as Washington D.C.
Mhm.
and into Virginia area, and as low as Georgia,
Mhm.
Savannah, around that area.
I think didn't y'all go to New Orleans one time?
I wasn't there.
You weren't there then, yeah.
Yeah, but they did.
That
We all-
program took the kids to New Orleans,
New
and it
York.
wasn't that long after Hurricane Katrina.
Mhm.
So they were part of the community service aspect of it is that they were involved in a couple of little cleanup projects while they were
did,
down there.
right,
Yeah,
right.
and seeing colleges in that area, like Xavier and different
Yeah.
Schools
yeah,
that they-
right.
just probably had no clue existed.
And we will be adding college tours to our format once our funding has increased.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it's a lot of entities to that when you're taking children on a bus out of
Well,
town. Yes.
you're right. Right. Yeah, it's
So
a
you
lot
want to
of
make sure that you're insured and all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So
yeah.
once our funding is in place, we will be taking college tours as well.
Yeah, it's nothing like exposure.
No.
Okay?
Mhm.
Nothing beats that. Okay?
And not just the college, but also some of the cultural sites.
Mhm.
We got to tour some of the museums. We went to North Carolina A&T. So we got to go to the Civil Rights Museum there, where the sit-in was with Jesse
Right.
Jackson.
County.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So all that was exciting. Savannah, when they got to go to the first African American Baptist Church in the country.
Yeah,
you
yeah, I
know.
saw that.
Yeah,
I saw
they
that.
toured
Original
that.
floors and
That was a part of the Underground Railroad,
Yeah,
and you
right.
can see the holes in the floor with the slates with
Uh-huh.
reeds to catch air. So very interesting. So we were able to share all these little things with the students.
And they need that today. I'm telling you, they're just not left behind, but you know, some of it's the history that.
To leave, like April said, to leave Horry County, to get away and see there's another life outside of Horry County, that will inspire them to want to do more, to want to see it. And if they do research too, they can find in some cases, a student from another state may not have to pay that out-of-state tuition. You know, it depends on the college, but there are some colleges that will waive that. So, but you have to do the research to find out who they are and what couple exist.
Oh, I didn't know that. What's the criteria for the waiver?
It depends on what program. I think UNC has something similar to that. I'm not.
Well, you know, UNC has the NC Promise, UNC Pembroke, for example, which is only roughly about an hour and 30 minutes from here, 50 minutes or something like that. The NC Promise basically helps students in-state and out-of-state to attend college in the UNC system. They can go to UNC Pembroke. In-state, I think it's something like $500 a year. It's like a really small amount of money, or per semester. It's a really small amount of money.
Cheap.
And even out of state is only $2,000 a semester, something like that.
And UNC Chapel Hill have the Covenant program, which is very
What do you call it?
Covenant program.
Covenant program.
There's tons of programs out there. So, and I mean, you know,
but you know, our young people, they need guidance, okay? And some of the adult people who can provide guidance, that's lacking. You just can't find them to provide the guidance. I don't know what they fear, and sometimes they fear approaching the young people and the students or whatever, and then that's justified, okay? I mean, a lot of things are happening out here today.
I would like to call attention to April's alma mater, USC. They have what they call the Gamecock Guarantee. And if you can score 1,200 on the SAT and your GPA is 3.25, it's either 3 or 3.25, you guaranteed a free ride. But you got to maintain that
while you're there.
While you're there. But still, it's a free ride.
You're listening to the Whittemore Community Magazine Hour of Power right here on WPJS 1330 AM on your dial. We only have a few more minutes, but gonna give you the opportunity to call, okay? And
I think
so
it's
give us a call.
I think it's a wonderful vision.
Oh yeah. 843-248-6365 or 843-248-2890. And our host talk about our website and
we are going to post information about Janet's organization and her website, which is educateouryouth.info. So make sure you check it out. If you want to donate to the cause, you can donate through the website. You can contact Janet. If there's some special services, at least the ones that she mentioned, that you need help with. If your student needs some SAT prep, and you know, or you just want to talk about the college experience and what they're getting ready to go into, she can give you guidance on that. So.
all right.
Hey, you're listening to the Whittemore Community Magazine's Hour of Power right here on WPJS 1330 AM. You may be listening through WPJSradio.com or WCMagazine.net. We just want to make sure you listen.
That's right. Like all these venues, man. You know.
We're trying to cover all of our.
Yeah, we're trying to cover
accessibility.
Accessibility.
Yeah,
I like that.
That's
accessibility.
That's it. Accessibility. What's for the immediate future, and that immediate future can encompass this all of 2019. We're just limited.
We'll do a variety of what I just mentioned.
Right,
We're gonna do a variety of SAT workshops. We'll do a variety
Some
of
to be determined.
Yes.
Okay.
Mention the parent meeting you had.
Oh yes, we did have a parent meeting at the library. Some parents came out, and as a matter of fact, I followed up with that parent on the FAFSA, trying to get everything straightened out for her son. So we will probably have another parent meeting as well, because we need to get the parents involved.
Right.
They have to be
Right.
involved.
We're looking forward to see how that's gonna expand, you know, and if we can see some people that we'll refer them to you, to your.
Greatly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Any students that you
Because they're gonna need it.
identify.
They're gonna need it, okay, and the parents too. Okay.
Yeah, I really, really would appreciate that. I really want our kids to increase their scores on the SAT. I was at a meeting with the district office, and the gentleman said that 1,050 was a good score. That's not a good score.
It's not a good score.
No.
I think it's because you got to think of the combined scores.
Right, yeah.
Well, I'm looking at the
So
other thing now.
they can do
Now,
better,
these
you know.
online courses, I'm gonna just deviate just a little bit. Some of these schools are not requiring, they're advertising them, not requiring SATs. Okay?
Are you talking colleges?
Yeah.
Especially the for-profits, they don't necessarily.
Yeah, right. You know,
Sometimes the students can't find jobs, you know.
Yeah,
some of the
from the
for-profit
for-profits.
schools. For-profit schools, right? So, some of the courses not accredited, right?
Right. You know, most of the for-profits are not accredited, which means that
really?
an accreditation, you kind of think of it as the piece that legitimizes a college or a university. So employers see that coming. You know, if it's a for-profit school, their first thought is, well, they may have gotten an education,
Okay, that's good
but the quality of that education
Okay.
is not up here.
All right.
You know,
Okay. You're already prejudged.
you're already prejudged when they
Okay.
see certain names of certain colleges, and a lot of employers won't even deal with the graduates because they're like, nah, you know, it's just. They don't even consider it as a school, and sometimes not as a legitimate school.
Plus, their students end up with huge financial debt.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because they think they'll get a refund. All the money goes to
refund.
Right, they won't get a refund.
And these are the types of things too that a part of that career exploration. Those are conversations that Janet can have with those types of conversations with the parents.
Right.
Because if they're looking at school choices and they're thinking, oh well, yeah, this school, this academy is only offering it for 6 weeks. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best option because you don't know what they're getting in the 6 weeks, and you don't know if an employer will recognize the skills or the certificate or whatever you're getting from that. And so when we talk about for-profits, we think of schools like the Corinthians of the world, the ITT Techs of the world.
Yeah.
You know, those schools where the students, the Virginia colleges of the world, where in some cases.
Virginia colleges?
Yeah, Virginia College. It was a for-profit school. There was one in. There was a branch in Florence.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
that closed. That school pretty much closed in the beginning of, like in the middle of the year.
Really?
The students got messages saying no more classes.
They were out.
We don't even have school anymore.
Wow. Yeah.
So at that point, they've already gotten into a whole lot of debt. They're like, well, what do we do next? Will our credits transfer to other schools? Credits could not transfer to other schools, so they had to start all over again if they were to go to other schools.
And the federal student loan will want their money.
Yeah, federal student loan wants their money regardless, unless they get pardoned.
Right.
But that's a whole nother show. Yeah,
That's
that's a different show. Yeah, exactly. But this has been great, Janet. Thank you so much, and I look forward to working with you on this project. And
Thank you.
of course, we'll support as much as possible.
Yeah,
we're working in
magazine Our Power.
I appreciate that. And if you can identify any student, just contact me and let me know, and I'll reach out to them.
Yeah.
You too.
What's the YouTube LPA? You're listening to the Whittemore Community Magazine Hour of Power right here at WPGS 1330 AM on your dial.